Dear listeners, this is not the full film of The Cat Returns. This is a review of the English dub of the film. The film is available on home video from GKids and streaming on HBO Max in the United States, and streaming on Netflix in most other territories. Go watch it there, instead of giving us some smarmy comment about how this isn't the movie, because now you know this isn't the movie. With that out of the way, on with the show. The Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, hello, buddy. Oh, I know you want to hang out, but I gotta record something for the podcast, so you just pop on out of here, okay? I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Alright. Where was I? Please be aware this episode will contain spoilers for The Cat Returns, so make sure you watch it before listening. How'd you get back in here? And close the door. Oh, you're a crafty little guy, aren't you? Oh, someone's very good at finding his way into places, isn't he? Well, away with you. Finally, the views and opinions expressed in this episode do not reflect those of the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. And with that out of the way... Oh my god. Where'd all these cats come from? Well, dude, did you get some friends? How'd they get in here? Do I have enough food for this many cats?
One and all, and welcome to Dub Talk. It's the summer. It's hot outside. I'm sweaty. You know what we should do? Come inside and watch some movies. That's right, we're back with Summer at the Movies, and I'm with my co-host today, Amon. Amon?
I'm sorry, my cat got in here. Hi.
I'm pretty sure mine's in here too. She's just in the closet.
Howdy, folks.
Hi, everybody. Speaking of cats, your cat has picked the perfect movie to come into the room and talk about things. Also, how is your cat?
Terrible. Ill-tempered little bastard.
But you love him.
We're fostering him. We do not love her.
Hopefully that foster home comes soon enough.
Yeah,
that
too.
Permanent home comes soon enough. But speaking of things that should have a permanent home in your shelf, this week we are talking about Studio Ghibli's 2002 film, The Cat Returns. This one was directed not by Hayao Miyazaki, because he was currently busy getting spirited away in more ways than one, I hope. But rather one Mr. Hiroyuki Morita. So, I had seen this before. This is actually my favorite Ghibli movie.
It's a respectable choice.
Yeah, I bought this on a whim when I was like 13 in New York City at Kinokuniya, and I pretty much, I think, burned my DVD copy or lost it.
Oh no.
So, now I have the nice fancy steelbook from GKids.
Fancy.
Yes. And then this was your first time seeing this, correct?
Correct. I missed this the first time around because back when Disney put this out, this was back when I'm still lazy about anime, but it was like, it was like straight to video. I didn't know much about it. It was like, I'll get around to that at some point. At some point, it ended up being about
20 years later.
About thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah, this movie is 20 this year, which is terrifying.
Wild.
Yeah, it debuted in Japan on July 19th. Of 2020, 2002.
When you have to do that reset where it's like, wait, when the numbers are that small, we don't do the 20 thing. Crap.
Shit, my brain. Like, oh man, I found out Princess Tutu was 20 this year, and I fucking aged like the end of Private Ryan.
Yep.
So, for a little information on the background of The Cat Returns, it's actually a manga spin-off of the original film. It's a manga spin-off of Whisper of the Heart. Whisper of the Heart was also adapted into a film in 1995 by Studio Ghibli that was directed by Yoshifumi Kondo. But this one essentially, it was basically a short thing for a cat, but then it turned into its own movie, which has the character of the Baron from Whispers of the Heart return. And the general plot summary of this is that a high school girl named Haru Yoshioka ends up saving a cat from getting hit by a car after she sees it trying to take a little box across the street. She's shy and stuff. Apparently, she learned from her mom that she can talk to cats, because she saved a cat when she was a little girl and gave it food. The cats are like, yo, thank you for saving our prince. By the way, there's a kingdom of cats with the Cat King. And they're like, yo, you saved our prince, so we're gonna give you a bunch of gifts. Turns out all the gifts are things that cats would want, like mice, cattails in her yard, mice in her shoe locker at school, which is some, like, fucking Saw level shit, if you're asking me. And eventually the cats tell her that she's going to marry their prince. She ends up seeking out the Cat Bureau so that they can help her, and she meets the Baron Humbert von Gachin, or Gekken, and Muta, as well as a talking crow named Toto, who live in a, like, area where things that created by people can come to life. Eventually, she is whisked away to the Cat Kingdom, and she must be saved/save herself. Overall, it's a really fun experience, and it's a really easy movie to sit and watch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just crack on into our staff and stuff for the English dub, as this was a Ghibli dub. This was, back in the day, taking care of our, quote-unquote, friends, the mouse. Oh!
Ah.
But nowadays, G Kids has the rights and is distributing this, so if you do want to pick it up, you can pick it up from G Kids. There's
0% chance there'll be an obnoxious feature starring John Lasseter on it.
Oh yeah, that's right, because John Lasseter.
Yeah,
John Lasseter.
Yeah, I don't know if he did. I don't know if he would have done an introduction to this. I think they're only on the Miyazaki directed ones, but I do know none of those.
Yeah, because he was apparently a friend of Miyazaki's and really admired his work.
I mean, I believe that.
Yeah, but John Lasseter is a garbage human.
I've seen some of those, and I often wonder, it's like, so does Miyazaki enjoy this man, or is he just kind of humoring him because they're professionals? Like,
I would hope the latter, because this is the man that...
Yeah.
Among the lots of awful, horrible things that John Lasseter has done to people, he also made it so that Cars was a thing that exists in our world. And people now have, like, you know, implications about how the universe of Cars works. Like how there's a sentient Pope Mobile. And how do you get baby cars?
I'm invoking the Ruiko Takahashi rule of I don't think about it, and neither should you.
Should you?
Let's...
If you don't want to answer a question, anybody, you should definitely pull the Rumiko Takahashi card and just, yep. I don't think about it, neither should you.
Yep.
Thing you should think about is the directing and writing team for this movie. This movie was co-directed by Ned Lott. This was the only director that I could actually find on Anime News Network. And the writers of this were, I believe, the married team of Cindy Davis Hewitt and Donald H. Hewitt. Ned Lott directed the dubs for My Neighbor the Yamadas, Pompoko, and, unfortunately, Tales from Earthsea. Also, no, I cannot ever think of Pompoko without hearing the song I've Got Big Balls. AMV Hell.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
No, go
ahead, you first.
No,
you first.
I was going to make a smarmy comment about AMV Hell is a lot to answer for.
It does, actually.
Also, according, I believe from the credits, I think Rick Dempsey, who was also the producer on the dub, is the other credited director on this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then the writer, Cindy Hewitt did My Neighbor Totoro, Pompoko, and Whispers of the Heart. Donald Hewitt did Spirited Away, Nausicaa, and Whispers of the Heart, writing adaptation as well. Mm-hmm. So, I will say, I think it is very good that they got the people who did Whispers of the Heart to come in and do this, because this is essentially the spiritual successor to that film.
My favorite part is, I think if I have the chronology right, it's not that they got the Whispers of the Heart people, it's that they got the Cat Returns people to dub Whispers of the Heart, which came out later than this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right, folks. America got the two movies in reverse order, because I assume they wanted to get the newer Ghibli movies out first.
Yep, not realizing that one needs to come before the other. Sadly, the only thing I can think of, though, is that this movie doesn't have Country Roads.
Nope. You'll find no John Denver or Olivia Newton-John here.
Oh, that's right, because she did the cover of that for that movie.
It's her version, yeah, because it's got that enormous gospel choir thing at the beginning.
It's kind of the best. No offense to John Denver, but
no, for what I've seen of that movie, that was the correct version to use for that movie. So good choice. Good job.
Have you ever wondered, like, this is getting off topic, and I'll get back to it. It's like those things of what cover is original and the better song for, like, that particular instance. Mm-hmm. And always my go-to answer is I Need a Hero for Shrek 2. It's so good!
Is that a cover? Oh, I guess it is.
Yes!
Yeah,
it is, because it's not, oh god, I'm not the music person.
Is it Bonnie Taylor who does the original?
I think it's Bonnie Taylor. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Holding Out for Heroes, Bonnie Taylor, the original one. But overall, like, I really like this dub. Yeah, it has a lot of Disney's, thing that they did, which was getting a bunch of celebrities in there because nobody learned their lesson from Robin Williams. But I think in this case it really works. And honestly, like, their choice for the Cat King ended up working out really well for them because that person happened to do a lot of screen and voice acting. Mm-hmm. So I think the movie came out really well together. Writing-wise, there's nothing, like, inoffensive. Like, there's nothing offensive to it. It's a completely inoffensively written dub. Mm-hmm. Nothing, like, dates it super bad. It does feel like it feels a little stiff at times, but I think that's more or less on people who don't work with a lot of anime / this, probably coming out in like 03, 04 when the dubbing game wasn't as strong as it is now. Also think like, the other thing is too is like, maybe Disney didn't put like their A-game people on this, knowing that they were probably also working on, like, what would become the first anime ever nominated for an Academy Award in Spirited Away. Mm-hmm. So, like...
No, I have a feeling you can probably look at some of the adaptation credits and kind of see, like, which are the ones that we know are going to get a big, fancy theatrical push when they come out, and which ones are going to get a DVD release.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people in this cast-wise, comparative to other... stuff that came out maybe is a little bit more, unfortunately, B-list casting as of the time, because when we say the lead, you're not going to think that.
Yeah, I will give them credit, though. I feel like I felt the same way when we did, were you on the Porco Rosso episode? I can't remember.
Yes, I was. Yes.
I felt the same way as saying where they were, because, like, I feel like that they knew that movie was probably not going to get quite the push. I feel like there was less pressure to get, like, quote-unquote big names. And I think they were able to lean into, like, we're not necessarily going to get voice actors. They're going to get, like, character actors who can probably fall into that a little more easily, because that's usually why you hire them, to, like, be a personality. Yeah. I thought this is like a very good dub for this movie. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Well, I'll highlight specific performances I really enjoy, but it's like, I generally feel like most of the Disney Ghibli dubs have a pretty good average. Like, they definitely have their creaks and flaws as a function of being produced by Disney and their sort of mindset. But I generally feel like, the average quality level is pretty good. And I think this is a pretty good example of where I think it's even a little north of that. Like, this is very solid.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say like this isn't. I don't think the level of like Spirited Away, which I think came out like literally a couple of months before.
Probably, because I feel like those were both part of what was basically like Disney's initial wave. I think. Not that I remember anymore. It's been too long.
Yeah, and then like looking at the casts between this, like that one, Spirited Away had like James Marsden and like probably big name child actor at the time, child voice actor who just came off of Disney's like big film at the time, which I'm assuming was Lilo and Stitch because it's Davy Chase who was Lilo.
That seems likely.
And then you got like, I'm looking at this, there's like David Ogden Stiers is in there, which is how you know it was a Ghibli film, told by Disney. Because, you know, he was in there. I'm just hilariously learning that Roger Bumpus was in Spirited Away.
Wait, that's another MASH alumni.
Roger Bumpus?
No, David Ogden Stiers. He's in MASH, I think. Or maybe he's in the TV show, not the movie.
Yeah, he was in the TV show.
That's right. Never mind.
Doesn't count. Second degree MASH.
Exactly.
But are you good to move on to the first set of characters?
I am.
Cool. So let's start with the Kingdom of Cats. Oh shit. Sorry. I'm fine. The Kingdom of Oh shit. I was trying to grab something to open a drink, and it slipped a little bit and hit near my speaker.
Oh.
Let's talk about the Kingdom of Cats, baby. The Kingdom of Cats is a land where it's noon all the time. It feels great. I'm pretty sure they're fucking high, and their king is literally a fat cat that looks like he's been static shocked, whose eyes are going in two different directions and sounds like a bad Elvis impersonator, and it's great.
He's so perfectly designed. To just all the other cats are so cute, and he looks like the one that's.
He looks like the one you know that viral video of "Ma, there's a freaky looking cat under my bed." Like that's what that cat is.
I don't know that one, but you ever seen that one that's like some like extremely hairy cat is being like carried out of a building by like I think like a firefighter or something, and there's like alt text that's like him giving some sort of like, you know, supervillain rant.
Yeah, like it was me, Austin.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like that.
The other characters include Yuki, the cat that Haru saved as a child, who works as a waitress under the king's service. She's also the one that told her to go to the cat bureau. There's Prince Loon, who is the cat that Haru ends up saving, and he is in love with Yuki. The reason he had gone to the human world was to get her the treats that Haru had fed her as a sign of their love. There is Natori, who is the advisor to the king. He is essentially the straight man to the Cat King's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then there is Notaru. He's a yes man. He is a yes man and or his actor's persona.
Yep.
Playing Yuki is Judy Greer. Playing Prince Loon is Andrew Bevis. Playing Natori is Renee Auberjonis. Playing Notaru is Andy Richter, and playing the Cat King is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tim fucking Curry. Judy Greer is an actress who does a lot of, I've realized, kind of like small background roles in a lot of things. She's Lucy Wyman in 13 Going on 30, Karen Mitchell in Jurassic World, and Maggie Lang in Ant-Man. Andrew Bevis doesn't have a lot of screen credits. He is mostly an actor in Australia for stage. Renee Auberjonis is known for was it Oto in Deep Space Nine?
I think it's Odo. I've never actually watched Deep Space Nine. I just know Odo.
Yeah.
Odo comes up a lot from the people
Odo
on
in
Twitter
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
But he's also Father Macaulay in the film for MASH, The Skull and the Last Unicorn, and to make my boyfriend happy, Mr. House in Fallout New Vegas. Andy Richter, you will know as Conan O'Brien's partner in crime. / the guy who keeps letting Paul Rudd get away with it.
I mean, if I were in his position, I'd do the same thing.
That joke will never get old.
Absolutely.
Did you see the one where he does it on the podcast?
I'm the one I'm looking forward to is when, hopefully many, many, many years from now, Paul Rudd passes away and he has the people at his funeral pull this stunt on Conan.
Oh, if Conan gives his eulogy.
Like, absolute, like, it's...
Getting the last, Paul Rudd gets the last laugh.
And he will have the same reaction as on that podcast where he is torn between being completely infuriated and also like, this is a really good bit. I'm kind of jealous of this as a professional comedian.
I can't believe you've been getting away with this for like 30 years.
Oh.
It'll never not be funny.
Nope.
But Andy Richter, aside from being Conan's right hand, is also characters such as Ben Higginbottom in The Mighty Bee. He was a Marine in Halo 4. And just to, bring out the cursed, he was Mort in Madagascar. You know, Madagascar, DreamWorks franchise.
I never watched Madagascar. I was a grouchy teenager when that came out.
You know, da 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 circus, da 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 Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro da 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 circus.
See that
bullshit.
That I do know because I had a very small younger sister when that movie came out. So I never saw. I didn't have to see it, but it was around. I was vaguely familiar.
That's the third one. I've like, he basically is if you've been, you know, blessed as to never have seen Madagascar, Mort is Sacha Baron Cohen's little bitch.
Oh no.
It's him, I think Cedric the Entertainer or the Lemurs.
Oh no.
That's what that is.
Oh
and
boy.
Tim Curry, I would hope, needs no introduction. Tim Curry is a icon, from Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show to Rooster in Annie. Where is one of my favorite movies? Where the fuck is Clue? Where the fuck is Clue?
Oh, what the fuck's the butler's name? He has a name.
I don't know. No, the butler / Mr. Body. Why is Clue not on his fucking Wikipedia page? What the shit? Oh, Wadsworth. Wow, I'm dumb. I missed it. Wadsworth and Clue. Everyone's favorite, Miss Pennywise in the original It things. But in terms of voice acting, you would know Mr. Tim Curry as a lot of your childhood. Like Hexus in Fern Gully. Like, where's the page I had for him? Did you know he was a Prince Lotor in one of the Voltrons?
I did not, but
in Voltron the Third Dimension. And of course, Marianne. I'm a sloth. Look how slowly I move. Nigel Thornberry and the Wild Thornberries.
Has any man ever had as much fun acting as Tim Curry?
I don't know, and I love him. And he had a ton of fun in this as the Cat King.
Absolutely.
I think, like, he was the one person, who I think actually had voiceover experience going into this. And he's just like, fuck yeah!
One of the funny things, because this has a little, like, 10 minutes sort of, you know, behind the microphone on the Blu-ray from, like, the old Disney release, where they just kind of interview the main cast. I do remember finding it funny that when they did Andy Richter's bit, I think he is the first person connected to an anime dub who has actually said the phrase automatic dialogue recording. You know, the thing ADR stands for? And it's like,
yes.
Oh yeah, for most of you, that probably is your point of reference for all this. Just like, the sound was crap on set that day, so I had to dub myself over in post.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Tim Curry's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna have a good time with this as the King of the Cats. Who, like I said, gives a performance that can only be ascribed to as a bad Elvis impersonator, but it works.
I was trying to think while watching it, I know this is Tim Curry, but it doesn't feel like Tim Curry. What is it setting it apart? And I think the realization was just the way he says babe.
Yeah, like, thanks a lot, babe.
Like, yeah, both that he calls everyone babe and just the way he says it, which is like, this is sleazy in a way I'm not used to seeing out of Tim Curry. This is great.
Yeah, and then I think definitely Renee counterpoints him so well as this very, like, straight-laced advisor, like, please, sir, you hit one of our own. Just the whole sequence where they're in the maze.
My Kingdom for a spin-off starring these two. Or just the cat.
Oh yeah, at the end, I think I'm gonna retire. You know what? I'll join you.
The king gets in increasingly ill-conceived situations, and Notaro doesn't quite try to stop him, but does sort of attempt to rein him in.
And Renee does a very good job as, like, the old advisor kind of voice. It's not anything new, but it works definitely in contrast with Tim Curry's very over-the-top king thing. Mm-hmm. And then you just literally have Andy Richter playing himself.
Good, strong second banana performance from one of America's favorite second bananas.
I just love when it's like, that's it, I'm blowing up the tower, but your approval rating, sir. and then he's like, where's that detonator? Oh, I left it inside. Oh, you mean this? I found it.
He's such an obnoxious little suck-up.
Just the energy between the three of them in that sequence is just like the perfect level of dumb, like, Team Rocket level bullshit that you want out of someone like that.
It's got that perfect, like, dumb older brother, slightly smarter middle brother, deeply annoying littlest brother.
Yes, and then just Andy Richter when he's getting Haru to come to the world, it's like, your fat friend exceeds her weight limits. And he's just like the kind of aspect to his voice, because he's so pathetic.
He's such a...
No, Taru, not Andy Richter himself. Andy Richter himself seems like a really cool fucking guy.
Yeah, Andy Richter seems great, but he's very funny in this. Oh, good times.
And then I don't really have a lot to say about Kelly and Judy and Andrew. They did a good job as their little, like, kind of bit parts. Yuki kind of had, like, an oddly mothering tone, which I found was a little weird. But they both sounded fairly good. They don't get to do a ton.
They are perfectly good for the roles they have been cast in. They do a good job. Happy they're there. Thumbs up.
Yep. Are you good to move on to the second?
I think so.
So let's talk about Muta and Toto. Muta is a giant fat cat who doesn't really want to help people, but deep down he's kind of a jackass with a heart of gold, in the non-Disney words. He likes food, and for some reason, Natsuri is like, wait a minute, I fucking know that guy. And then at the end, kind of towards the end, it's revealed that he is actually Ronaldo Moon, a famous criminal in the Cat Kingdom who once stood in their lake and ate all their fish and booked it. To which the Baron replies, that's disgusting. Don't call him fat, he's fluffy. And then Toto is a stone crow that was created by someone who comes to life and assists in the Baron. Him and Muta have a love-hate relationship in which they insult each other, and Muta knows about 5 insults. You know, like a typical 12-year-old.
You already called me that.
Yeah.
You already called me that, too.
So playing Muta is Peter Boyle, and playing Toto is Elliot Gold. Peter Boyle, you will know for his multiple film and television roles, especially Frankenstein's monster and Young Frankenstein. That's right, he's putting on the Ritz. Mm-hmm. Or, in case, sorry, that's one of my mom's favorite movies.
It's a great movie, and
it's so good.
He's really funny in it.
He was Crazy Joe in Crazy Joe. But most 90s children, if you were subjected to sitcoms by your parents, would know him as Frank Boyle in the American live-action remake of the beloved visual novel series Udaware Maro, or as it's known in America, Everybody Loves Raymond. Did I just make the most elaborate underwater Ray Romano joke of all time? Yes. But Elliot Gold, you'll know as characters such as the Owl in Yellowbird, Ted Henderson and Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice. And of course, which I believe this is probably his most famous role of all time, the one I'm about to say, Captain Trapper John Francis Xavier McIntyre in the film MASH.
Congratulations, folks. This is our first and only time you'll hear a reference to Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice on an anime podcast.
I looked through his Wikipedia and he's like, he got nominated for an Oscar for that!
It's about swinging! It's great!
Oh my.
Also, for you weebs out there, I'm going to shout out my favorite performance by him. He plays Philip Marlowe in an adaptation of Long Goodbye, which I like because I watched it on a friend's recommendation, and I'm convinced that about 50% of Spike Spiegel's DNA is just Elliot Gould wandering around in a rumpled jacket, not really knowing what he's doing, but trying to solve a murder.
You know what? I would not be surprised if Shinichiro Watanabe had watched that.
I mean, that movie's definitely in, like, his strike zone as far as just the kind of stuff he likes, and it's just like...
If you ever get the chance to, like, interview Watanabe, would you be like, did you base any of Spike Spiegel on Elliot Gould in that film?
Even if that just ends up being a pure supposition, I would want to know. If nothing else, I'd be like, well, if you haven't seen Long Goodbye, you really should. I really feel like you'll enjoy Robert Altman's take on the noir conventions.
I feel really weird because this is an actor where it's clearly, like, in your wheelhouse, because I've never seen any of those movies. And I'm a film studies major, and this is where I started my card. Like, it was really funny. I was sitting out on the couch watching this because my PS4 was being a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. So I guess my mom had come home, and I was watching it, and of all the things, she doesn't recognize Peter Boyle in this. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Does that crow have a famous actor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Elliot Gould." And she goes, "Oh yeah, now I hear it." Didn't ask that about anybody else in the movie, just Toto. To which Toto does have a very, very, like, distinct voice.
Elliot Gould, he is from New York, he is Jewish, could you tell?
Yeah, really, right? Like, that crow sounds like it would come up to you in the subway and tell you to fuck off.
100%. Oh.
And I love it.
No, it's great. I'm delighted he's here anyways, because I love Elliot Gould. He's one of my favorite actors, but Toto doesn't show up too much, but he is, like, this is very much just, like, it's not a huge role, but they got a good actor who understood what the character needed, and he put it in there, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing I like about him the most as Toto is that he very, very much plays well off of Peter Boyle's Muta, who I will admit sometimes Peter Boyle's a little stiff, but I don't know if it's because he's very clearly not used to doing this type of work. Also, if I'm correct, Peter Boyle might have also around this time recently had come off a heart attack.
That wouldn't.
99. He had it in 99.
Yeah, but I think this is relatively close to the end of his life as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would. Yeah, he passed away in 06.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was right. He was quite a weak link, but he was a little stiff in a few places, and I think that's one of the. I think he's the one person in the cast I would point to who I feel like him being primarily a screen actor who probably doesn't do a lot of, like, VO or looping or anything kind of shines through. He's really good at yelling, though.
Yes, he is fantastic at yelling.
And he's really good at the yelling. He does the insults with Elliot Gould really well. And some of his lines are really well. There's a bit where the Baron cons him into helping out Haru, where he's just like, "There's angel cake in the fridge," and he's just like, "Oh, why didn't she say so?" It's just very much like.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a mixed bag, but, like, when it does stick, I do think it's like, yeah, no, I see why you cast this guy. Like when it's good, he's nailing it.
Oh, definitely. And I think no, so for me, I think the thing that works really well with Toto is that Elliot Gould can get the serious down. I think you can definitely tell he took this seriously. There's a lot of times where I would imagine a lot of Hollywood actors are like, you know, fucking Chris Rock, who's like, oh, it's so easy to get into a booth and make noises. I'm not saying he deserved to get slapped, but I think for me, the other thing that really works for this two set of characters is that I think Peter Boyle put a lot of heart still into Muta. Like, he definitely sounded like your grumpy old grandpa. Mm-hmm. And that really, really works off against Haru's actress. And how, she comes off, and how suave the Baron is. Mm-hmm. I also really love the delivery of, Muta, you're huge. Nah, you just got smaller, kiddo. Because Haru is, you know, Muta is Muta size in real life. That, and I love when he's like, yep, that was me, bitch!
He's so proud of his crimes.
It was me, Austin! It was me all along!
I think, I was mentioning earlier, I think something this benefits from is a lot of the, even like the more famous people aren't like super duper famous, and you get a lot of people who are sort of character actor types, and I think you have the advantage that they generally, like, they're like, I'm being hired to do a job, and I'm not gonna fuck around, because what if I don't have a reputation, what do I have anymore?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, you know, you're not Peter Boyle's not gonna come in and half-ass it unless he's like real, unless you have a real, maybe he's in some real dog shit, he'll half-ass it a little bit, but most of it's like, if I don't do this, I'm not gonna get work in the future, then where am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, you good to move on to the final two characters?
I think so.
Awesome. So let's talk about our two basically leads. The Baron, who is a cat statue that comes to life to help people. He is suave, he is dashing. He definitely might have awakened some things in people. I'm not... I mean, am I wrong?
Look, I was watching this and it's like, oh, he's such a fucking anime boyfriend.
He is.
He's such an anime boyfriend.
And then we have Haru, who is our very sweet, nice girl who I guess plays like lacrosse. That's a lacrosse stick. I've seen those. She's shy, she's kind of klutzy, she has a crush on a boy in class, but she is basically told, I think, which is a great message, which is, no matter what, just always believe in the person that you are. So playing the Baron is one Mr. Carrie Ells, and playing Haru is Anne Hathaway. I need to I'll preface Anne Hathaway after, but Carrie Ells is God, if he was not, like, the hunk of the 80s, I guess? He is a well-known, character actor / is just, you know, beloved by all for cult classics, including, obviously, Wesley, the Dread Pirate Robbers, the Man in Black, and the Princess Bride, and Robin Hood, and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Wherein, unlike some people, he can do a British accent.
Yeah! But he was also Donald Curtis in Porco Rosso. He was Garrett in The Quest for Camelot. And he actually was also the Baron in Whispers of the Heart, so they did keep that intact. Haru is played by Academy Award-winning actress Anne Hathaway. And you're wondering, damn Disney, how could you afford to put Anne Hathaway on a direct-to-DVD movie? This was in 2002, where Anne Hathaway was still a baby. And was doing a lot of stage work.
And was maybe, like, 2 years removed from one of the movies you're probably going to bring up she was in?
Abso-fucking-lutely! Yeah, she was doing a stage up for a while, and some television. She was in Get Real as Megan. But a lot of us would know Anne Hathaway from movies like Hoodwink, where she was Red Puckett, Jewel in Rio, and if you too were a 10 to 15-year-old girl in the year 2001, you might have heard of a small independent film called The Princess Diaries, starring Academy Award-winning actress Julie Andrews, directed by Gary Marshall, and starring Anne Hathaway as Mia Thermopolis. And if you were a girl of a 10-year-old girl in 2001 like I was, you fucking love The Princess Diaries. So, Amon, would you like to start us off, or are you still reminiscing about The Princess Diaries?
It took me a minute while watching this the first time. I was like, man, Anne Hathaway sounds so youthful in this. And it took me, it's like, right. She was like 20 when she recorded this. I need to separate everything I've seen Anne Hathaway in the last decade from this, where she's like,
Catwoman.
Yeah, exactly. I think she does a really good job. She does a very good, just like sprightly, energetic, just good, like, cool but not necessarily self-confident yet teen girl. This is very much one of these movies where I feel like, if Haru and the Baron aren't cast well, I feel like the movie just kind of falls apart because the movie's about the two of them to a certain extent. And I think she just does a really nice job. Like, she sounds very authentic. I think she doesn't have any of those issues where, like, she gets kind of like weird line reads here and there. Like, it felt like she took this very seriously and was like, yeah, no, this is an interesting movie and I want to be in this. And she notes in the... I like that both of the Japanese and English making of notes that whoever plays Haru has to yell a lot. There's a lot of yelling in this movie.
I mean, yes. That happens a lot.
It happens a lot. No, I think she does a really good job in this, to the point where it's... I mean, obviously she's done some other VO work, but, given how famous she is, I don't know if she's going to be doing a lot of that in the future, per se.
She Hoodwinked was 2005.
Okay.
Rio was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, Rio, then she would play, Catwoman and win an Oscar for playing Fantine.
Wait, did she have 2 Oscars?
How many fucking Oscars?
I believe her first Oscar, I think, was for... No, maybe she only got nominated for Rachel Getting Married. I remember that was the one.
Yeah, she got nominated. Okay, got nominated. She didn't win.
Yeah, is that the
She won an Academy Award for Les Mis.
There we go. Okay, because I remember Rachel Getting Married coming out being like, "Oh, damn, Anne Hathaway can act. Jesus."
I have never seen that movie.
Neither have I. I've wanted to, because I like the director, Jonathan Demme, is a guy I really enjoy, but I've never gotten around to watching it because I'm horribly lazy. There's too many fucking movies these days.
All I know is, like, next year I was like, yeah, next year's the year I'm gonna go back to AV so I can visit Jared and just, like, hang out with him. So we should just fucking watch it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, when does Rachel Getting Married came out in 2008? Jesus.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds right.
Who the fuck is in that?
Other humans?
No, sorry. Yeah, no, it's really funny is because, like, I think that year was just, like, a year of, like, weird, dumb movies that she did and an Oscar.
Yeah, there we go.
Because to be fair, though, I liked that Get Smart movie. That was a fun movie when I was, like, in high school. But that is not this movie. To me, Anne Hathaway gave me a lot of vibes of, like, Caitlin Glass in this.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like she was very much on the same, like, very much reminding me a little bit of, like, Winry from FMA. Which, I don't know who's that more of a compliment for, Caitlin Glass or Anne Hathaway. They're both great actresses, and they should meet one day, I'm just saying. But I think the thing that I really like about Anne's performance is that I could believe that was still a teenage girl. Even though Anne was, like, 20. To which, holy shit, Anne Hathaway was 20 in 2002, and...
Yep.
I thought she was much younger.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize she's almost 40.
Life comes at you fast.
Fucking Christ. She's only 10 years older than me. She's only 9 years older than me, holy shit. And I think, to me, the thing that always made me come back to this movie was Anne's performance. Like, I loved Haru when I first saw it. Like, I cosplayed as Haru. Like, when I was very baby weeb. And it was always one of my favorite characters and performances, and I think this reminded me how much I liked it so much because I could grasp onto it so much when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could definitely see myself as that character, you know? And I think Anne's vulnerability and stuff really leads into it, like, especially, like, she's like, yeah, no, maybe life as a cat would be easier. And I like that kind of her whole arc for the movie is, you know, coming to realize that taking the easy way out is not the solution, and that maybe the little things that you were always so worried about don't mean as much in the grand sense of things, as long as you're true to yourself. So I really liked her performance, especially at the end where she's kind of, you know, up before her mom, and she tells her friend, like, yeah, I don't really care about the guy I had a crush on. And she's become kind of her own person. And then, what do we say about Carrie Ells as the Baron?
What a heartthrob.
Yeah, really, right?
It's even these like people who work for Disney are like, this guy's primo boyfriend material. We need to get someone like suave and gentlemanly to voice this guy, or it's not gonna work.
And so we got.
It's like, okay, we can't get Clark Gable because he's dead. But who else has that primo like just extreme gentleman energy? Carrie Ells can do that, so let's get Carrie Ells.
I mean, Carrie Ells has probably awakened a lot of things in some people, so
I'm sure a lot of people were watching The Princess Bride, and it's like, lady, what are you complaining about? Look at him. Like, all right, like, all right, he murdered your boyfriend, but like, whatever. Come on, look at him.
It's fine. But no, I think that's the thing I like. I think you really nailed it. He is suave and gentlemanly.
He's so quintessentially dashing, and it never sounds like he's like trying too hard to do it. It's that right level of like effortlessness.
Oh, you know, like when he shows up to like sweep her off her feet and entertain her, and the king is like, I don't fucking like this dude. And it's like, is it because unlike you, he hasn't bathed in grease?
Exactly what I'm talking about. Just like you want to swoon over him.
I might not be a furry, but
in a much sillier version of this story, like whenever he shows up, like a gaggle of women just appear to like fawn at him and have hard eyes. Like he's that kind of guy.
I really love his performance too. Like, I find it funny to also be that he's like the one guy that they keep going back to for Ghibli.
It's very funny to me that he's like
the Ghibli guy.
He's the Ghibli. Also, just like, it's like, all right, we're here. Here's something that's extremely within like the Carrie Ooze oeuvre, and then it's also like, we need someone to play this deeply obnoxious Texan. Hey, wait, Carrie's on speed dial, right? Can he do a Texas accent?
I still 100% have it in my head canon that guy was based off of Ronald Reagan.
He's got that right kind of just like, it feels true. It feels true, right? It feels true.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is I really like them at the end where it's like, I think I have a crush on you. You're nice too. Goodbye.
It's like,
adios.
It's like, you're sweet, but it's not gonna work. But good on you.
But you see, I'm a statue.
I'm a statue who's also a cat man.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Baron, away!
Baron out.
Come, Toto, take me to the next girl who needs an awakening.
Oh, good times.
Alright, with that, are you ready to finish this up?
I think so.
So, what are your overall thoughts on this?
This is a really... I'm glad I watched this movie. It's a really fun... It's a fun movie that I feel like does not get talked about enough. I think both just due to when it originally came out, and the fact that its director has not gone on to do a lot of other stuff that has kind of helped bolster it. I'm shocked by how little he's actually like directed since then. Like,
yeah, he's worked on a lot of stuff not as a director. We found out.
Yeah,
like
it's like he gets work, and clearly like he is a talented guy. I am just surprised. Like he's done this. He did like a One Piece TV special, and he did one TV series. And it's odd to me that he hasn't gotten more direction work, given that he seems like he's a pretty like talent. There's a scene in here that I liked because it was just a little artistic flourish. Since apparently part of the idea of this was Ghibli kind of wanted to get more new blood, since Takahata and Miyazaki aren't going to live forever. It's that bit at the end where they're finally back in the real world, and like Baron has summoned up Toto, and they're like running down the little like stairwell.
The crows.
Yeah, I just like that because it's like that is not how either of the two main Ghibli dudes would have composed this scene. And I like that was in there. Like, I don't
think like they would have just had them falling through the skies.
Something
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty like they wouldn't have gone for something this kind of like low key surreal. I guess like it's not part of either their like general styles. And like
all I'm thinking of too is like, man, if this was a oh god, what the fuck is his name that did Your Name?
Fuck.
I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah.
Shinkai!
Shinkai, yeah.
Yeah, if it was Shinkai, they'd be holding their hands as a lens flare went down.
What was it? Anyways, like I like this movie. It feels like kind of it's Ghibli-esque, but also feels like it's his own thing. And I think this is a really strong dub for it. I think this is like something you can easily like if you want to watch it in English, like this is a really good way to watch it. I think if it doesn't strictly like add to it, it doesn't detract anything. Like this is a good way to watch it, and more people should watch this. Frankly, this is a really strong movie that I feel like gets slept on a lot.
Huh. Okay, yeah, definitely. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking through because you mentioned the director Morita, who unfortunately hasn't gone on to direct a lot of other stuff solo, but he's worked on stuff like Boku. He did direct Bokurano, which I've heard. If you read the manga, you'll hate it, but if you haven't, you'll love it. But I was also looking at the writer Reiko Yoshida. I did not realize that was the woman who writes Tokyo Mew Mew. Like, the manga.
Really? Huh. How about that?
Yeah, and she's also done a ton of script it might be wrong, but she's also done, like, a ton of script compositions for, like, anime over the year, including things as recently as, she did the script for Silent Voice, but she also did, the Heiki story. Last year, which was an incredibly underrated series that we promise that we'll eventually make an episode on as soon as we get a full cast. But overall, my thoughts, like I said, I've always loved this episode, this movie since I was a kid. And I really think that it overall has a great message and it's a great time. I think that the dub stands up really well. Maybe not as strong as some other Ghibli movies, but it's a good time. You really should watch it. Like I said, this is always my favorite Ghibli movie, not because I don't think it's the best, but it's because the one I can sit and relate the most to, and just, it's also really funny. I think it's probably the funniest Ghibli movie.
The joke ratio is very good in here.
Yeah.
I forgot my favorite part where they're the bad musicians and he just keeps chucking them out the window.
Oh yeah!
No, that's the part that definitely wouldn't show up in a Miyazaki movie or a Takahata movie.
He chucks the, he had the Executioner Cats who chuck the guy throwing the squid because he cut the girl's top out the window. And then there was, like, a bad, like, act and one of the other dignitaries was laughing, so he threw him out the window. I think my favorite part of that is as the guy who threw the knives out is going, one of the cats very quickly makes the sign of the cross. This movie's fucking great.
It really is. My favorite part is I didn't notice this, but apparently those two show up later because they're cats. They land on their feet.
Yep. They're just sitting outside waiting for them.
Oh. Good times.
All right, with that, are you good to go?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. So if you'd like to watch The Cat Returns, you can pick it up on Blu-ray. From G-Kids, I believe they have the Steelbook out. I don't know if there's a regular version out of it, but I'm pretty sure.
There is, because that's the one I own.
Okay, yeah, there's a regular edition. There's also a Steelbook. If you want to stream it, they are streaming this via HBO Max in the United States. I believe everywhere else is Netflix.
Sounds right.
We're in the US, so we just know it's on HBO Max. If you would like to follow us...
Also, one other way you can watch it, I think this episode will be out in time, June 26th and 27th, it will be doing a limited run at, Fathom Events related theaters or whatever.
Oh, the Ghibli Fest!
Yes, so... if you're near a theater and going to theaters is the thing you feel okay doing these days, you can check it out that way. I don't know if one or either of them are going to be dubs or subs or whatever, but you can check that out yourself and see if that's an option.
Anyway, if you like anything that we do, you can follow us here at Dub Talk on YouTube, Twitter. We have a Twitch where we do streamings. I'm on streams on Tuesdays. I am currently in stream purgatory until I feel safe, until I feel emotionally ready to play Fire Emblem again. But if you'd like to support us as a one-time thing, we do have a Ko-fi below, but if you'd like to support us on the regular, we do have a Patreon where you can subscribe for us and our content. If you're a $5 tier, you get a shout out, which is my parents, Michelle Travis, Nico Robin, Butt with Yowie Hands, and Victor Mayborda. And if you're at the $10 tier, not only do you get a shout out every 3 months, we do a, raffle, because that should be happening starting next month on July, because I believe that's next quarter.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yep.
Yep.
So you can force us to watch just about anything within reason. And our $10 Patreons are Anthony Brown, Carly Lusticow, Crimson Echidna, Jacob Wilson, Jared Hawkins, Julia W., Marissa Lenti, and Otaku Anthony. Amon, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm Amon. You can find me on Twitter at AmonDuelUS, where I talk about movies and comic books and bullshit. And I also talk about music, and I have a dusty old song for the episode.
Oh, of course.
I was originally going to try and do something about cats, but I thought that was a little too obvious. So, I instead decided to take inspiration for the song that plays over the credits, which is, I failed to write down who performs it, but it's driven by a ukulele, which is an instrument that, outside of actual Hawaiian music, I mostly associate with kind of twee pop, which, if you're not familiar, is kind of usually sort of light, usually British-oriented pop music, kind of recent. Mm-hmm. I think Belle and Sebastian are technically kind of like the big names in that genre, but the one I want to talk about is a now sadly defunct band from the Tony-Tans called Allo Darlin', who I actually got to see in concert once, and they were very nice. They're very nice people. Their first album, which is also called Allo Darlin', is really good. The song to check out is My Heart is a Drummer, which is a nice song about a slightly complicated relationship, and also about how Graceland by Paul Simon is a great album, even though no one likes to admit it because it's too obvious a thing to say you love. But you should do it anyways, because it is that good. So check
Paul
that
Simon?
out. Well, who doesn't like Graceland?
Fair. I was gonna say, I find it really funny, though, because, you know how we talked about the Wild Thornberries before? Did you know Paul Simon did the credit song for that movie?
I did. I think I did know that, actually, yeah.
It's a really good song, too. I think he got nominated for an Academy Award for it.
Does not shock me.
It's called Father and Daughter. It's very good and it will make you cry.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a tribute song to Eliza and Nigel.
Oh, that's sweet.
I like how we both kind of made the Nigel noise. Just the... Marianne, I'm a cat. Look how I tried to make a child bride. And that's enough curse content for your summer at the movies. Thank you, Amon, for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to some more Summer at the Movies fun, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Rock over Boston, rock on Chicago.
And otaku on, my friends. 忘れてい